Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Ister. Here. Savage. Here. Rocious.
Here.
Ramos. Here. Troop. Here.
Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Just please remember, guys, you do have a 3-minute timer. Please remember also you get one public comment, not one public comment, then come back and make another public comment. You get 3 minutes total. Remember also, it's not Q&A, it's public comment. So if you choose to ask someone a question and they don't answer, they don't have to. Remember, it's only public comment. So at this time, I'm going to start here in the front, work my way back. Please state your name, ma'am.
Sandra Hine. The last meeting, I voiced my concerns, but I have a friend here with me. She has a very unique story, and I would like to introduce Betty Stephenson. Yes, right now.
My name is Elspeth Stephenson. I was born and educated in Germany and came to this country as a graduate student to teach German at Bacchanal University in 1965. During that year, I met my husband, whose career was as a furniture designer for Pennsylvania House Furniture, and they raised our family in Lewisburg, where I still live. I became a citizen of the United States in 1973 and have voted in every election since. I am an immigrant, and I've been a productive citizen of this country since I became a citizen. And while I'm not a voting resident of Sunbury, I'm a good neighbor and I'm in Iran. When I was born, Adolf Hitler was the leader of the German people, and I do not need to tell anybody here how disastrous and destructive his leadership was for the German people. I myself remember the absolute ruination of the German cities and the German people after 1945. Early on, Hitler decided that only quote-unquote Aryan people deserved to live in Germany, and every other race needed to be eradicated. In particular, he pursued the Jewish citizens of the country. He created the secret state police, and some of you will recognize this from movie literature as the Gestapo, who went around in uniform and heavily armed into both public and private spaces and arrested and incarcerated private citizens without due process into what became the infamous concentration camps. That is what I'm now seeing in my chosen home in central Pennsylvania, and I'm scared. Then will they come for me? Please do not let that happen in Sunbury with the cooperation with the ICE section. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please say your name.
I plan for 5 minutes. I'll try to speak fast.
That's all right, sir.
My name is Greg. I have 11 years of experience in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard as a medical and safety officer, as well as experience working with families as a landlord. My goal is safety for the community. My focus is on disinformation and destructive values. I am hesitant in Sunbury cooperating with the Trump administration and ICE for reasons involving values that do not serve our community. Anyone can live the 7 Army values, not just leaders. Those values are loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I think about those values with awe. Trump repeatedly pushes mis and disinformation regarding the 2020 election results, hurting citizens when he does. Trump was found unanimously liable for sexually assaulting E. Carroll by a jury of 13, lost all appeals for the case, and continues pushing disinformation about it. resulting in the development of false conspiracies. Judge Kaplan, overseeing the case, said, and quote, "The jury's finding that Mr. Trump sexually abused Miss Carroll implicitly determined that he forcibly penetrated her digitally. In other words, that Mr. Trump in fact did rape Miss Carroll, as that term commonly is used and understood in context outside of the New York penal law," unquote. Trump does not display Christian or army values with his behavior. President Trump won PolitiFact's 2024 Lie of the Year report for spreading the Asians eating pets falsehood. President Trump said, quote, "In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there," unquote. The neo-Nazi group named Blood Tribe claimed credit for spreading the Asians eating pets hoax and helped push the disinformation prior to Trump's mention. J.D. Vance, Vice President, posted the false claim and said, quote, "It's possible, of course, that all of these rumors were turned out to be false," unquote. After the false claims, at least 33 bomb threats per the mayor of Springfield were made. Threats targeted multiple organizations, including schools and government facilities. The community was deeply hurt by the false claims. Asked if he would denounce the bomb threats, Trump replied, quote, "I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants, and that's a terrible thing that happened," unquote. Trump does not display Christian or army values with his behavior. If you work for the administration, you should know President Trump describes humans as vermin. Quote, "We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country and lie and steal and cheat on elections," unquote. If you work with ICE, you should know that President Trump, regarding a group of humans, quote, "They're poisoning the blood of our country," unquote. You should know about the dehumanizing language towards humans that President Trump says with contempt. Quote, "The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans." I said, "No, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals," unquote. If Sunbury police and fire cooperate with ICE, families may be scared. Families may be less inclined to call the police for sexual assault or burglary if doing so endangers the family. Families may not take children to the doctors out of fear of endangering the family. In conclusion, President Trump seems authoritarian-like. Experts on fascism like Ruth Ben-Ghiat and Anna Applebaum warn about Democratic standing sliding into the country, about authoritarian-like behavior and language. Cooperating with ICE is a mistake. Would you suggest families will report rape, violence, or burglary if doing so endangers the family's stability and safety? I've talked to a number of people that have real fears about ICE and have changed their plans and behaviors because of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Sir, right here, please state your name.
My name is Mike Phillips, and I'm just back by the process. I guess I'm gonna take a little different position because I'm gonna stand in support of this agreement with ICE, and I'm not sure where the other council members stand, but a little bit about my background. I grew up in this area, went to graduate from St. Clement, went away to college, came back after graduate school. I had home property and been a business owner in Sunbury for 48 years, the last 48 years. And as far as what I can see, from a financial standpoint, it makes sense. I mean, it's not a tremendous amount of money, but my understanding is it would be helpful to the police department and for the taxpayers of Sunbury. Also, I think many of our neighboring communities have already come to that conclusion. They've signed up for this agreement. Also, in my opinion, probably more of the situation is that I think it makes everybody concerned safer in regards to interactions with ICE. This includes all residents of Sunbury, whether we're born, we're U.S. citizens or otherwise legal residents or legal immigrant. It, makes us all safer if the interactions are done in more of a safe way. Also, if there's an individual that ICE needs to apprehend because they are subject to deportation hearings, it's going to be safer for them as well. And in reality, regardless of what you do today, ICE, is charged with enforcing our immigration laws. And if they decide to come to Sunbury because, they're performing their duties, they're going to do that regardless of what we do here. And so it's not a matter of, if, but when they come to Sunbury, and I assume they've already been here. And so if there's some cooperation on both sides, we just think it makes it safer for everybody involved. So that's what I think. And if you're a legal resident, I can understand concerns if you're a recent immigrant. But again, if you're a legal immigrant, no one's really looking for you. Okay, so that's just my opinion.
Thank you. Ma'am, right here in the middle, please state your name.
I'm just going to highly suggest that for the discussion of the ICE agreement, that a public hearing be held so that people can actually be heard without a lengthy beginning of the council meeting, and it's just the one ICE program, so that people can come and express their opinions as opposed to taking time where you need to get through the agenda. That's just my suggestion, that people that will see as if there's time frame is just to decide, but that I feel would be the best day to already get clear everything. And if they have questions, they can ask questions and get the answers at the site.
Thank you. Public comment, please state your name, sir.
My name is Drew Banner. I'm here in Sunbury. Lived in Sunbury all my life. Last council meeting, I gave you guys all a sheet that detailed the liability you guys are about to take on when you vote this through, which I'm pretty sure you're probably going to do, despite what everybody's saying here. And Chief Slack did make a good point that the police department is already under that same liability. But those of you that vote for this will also be taking on that personal, civil, and criminal liability as well. The training that is now only 40 hours. Used to be 4 weeks in person. You used to have to pass an exam with 70% or higher. None of that is now the case. It's 40 hours of online training on a topic where there are a lot more nuances to this than just, are you here legally or not? There's a lot of people that are here on all kinds of things, and the ICE has been picking people up that are here legally and have court dates to go and see about continuing their status here, and then they cancel their legal status just so that they can get it deported. The money is not guaranteed. The law actually that enables 287G states specifically 287G operations are carried out entirely at the participating agency's expense. We've got a promise of maybe $190,000, but we're going to be rolling out at least a week worth of time for each officer that is going to go through the training. I'm assuming by the numbers that the plan is to put through most, if not all of the officers through the 40 hours of training. Potentially there's $100,000 that might come through to help upgrade some of the equipment. But in my opinion, that just fails in comparison to the liability that this city is taking on with that. And I know you've said that the insurance will cover it, but that still doesn't make you guys look good. Yeah, I would just say, I would just like to say again that I vehemently disagree with this. I think if the city officers are already doing some enforcement on this, and they pick up somebody for an actual criminal charge, fine. Those are the people that we don't want. But we don't want our
Just
officers
unplug it.
being drafted into ongoing ICE operations. Once they're part of this task force, they will be operating and they will be enforcing non-judicial warrants and potentially picking up people that are here legally and United States citizens. And all of those things are liability for every one of you that votes for this team.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment? We'll start here, working my way back in. So please say your name and.
Tracy Lesher. And I just want to say that I'm definitely for the ICE thing. Again, like what Officer Slack said last time, ICE is already here. They've been here. They're already helping them. If somebody has a warrant for ICE, it's going to show up when they run your name through their system. They're already here. Why can't our police force benefit from that financially when they're already doing it? That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Please say your name, ma'am.
Just following up on the last two comments. After the last meeting, I started looking into what was described as the task force work. And of the three models, two of them seem to be the kinds of things that Chief described that they're already doing. But the task force model comes pretty close to making one of the police officers isolate and really has a great chance of risking public trust. So I just was wondering, as you discussed this tonight, maybe you could tell us a little bit about why you chose the task force model.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please say your name, sir.
Hi, I'm Peter Degenstein. I live here in Sunbury. And I also been doing research since last week. We talked about a lot of things. I learned a lot about the task force that was started in 1996 by Bill Clinton, but wasn't put into effect until 2002 after 9/11. So they were really ramped up in 2007 and 2008. And it was being used in this very same way to assist with arrests and all. But there were a number of cases that there were civil rights abuses, racial profiling. Even with all of that training, there were abuses. And there were also times where there were false arrests because the wrong information was given to local authorities that ended up costing money. And in Pennsylvania, Lehigh County paid $95,000 after a U.S. citizen was held on an ICE detainment. In Western PA, our regional police department paid $175,000 after a traffic stop led to the immigration detention of another U.S. citizen. Those cases did not arise under this newly revised model, but they happened before. And because of that, this was laid down in 2012. This task force was shut down because there was too many liabilities. It was costing the federal government and local government too much money. This was revived last year. It's a little bit more than a year that this has been up and running again, and we don't have a lot of information on how it's going. So it's still a running test case. It might be something that's very beneficial. It might be disastrous for community. We simply don't know enough yet. But we know in the previous model, with more training, there were significant issues enough that they laid it down. The Department of Homeland Security is overseeing this and is also giving performance reports based on how successfully an agency locates people identified by ICE and how well it assists ICE missions. Pennsylvania law prohibits municipalities from directly or indirectly imposing education programs on anyone that they know that strategically know about. That law may not expressly cover immigration arrests or ICE deportation charges, but counsel should still obtain a rigid legal opinion explaining whether these payments create an unlawful quota or an improper immigration incentive. And she says that nothing will change, police will remain the same. But there's a lot of questions because there's money. And I've been in business for myself since 2004. And I know that the more government we get involved, the more people. Who pays for that time and spend out all that people? So what happens while we're waiting for the reimbursement of the responders? So in closing, I just am asking the council to wait at least 1 day. Sunbury doesn't have to become an early test case. Before any vote, release the full agreement, all reimbursement of performance award terms, the liability assessments, the written insurance confirmation with EPC underwriting, expected officer hours and administrative costs, the city solicitor's review of the court issue, and undetermined is what happens when you do it. What you have to get back to the government that they gave us. So I think it's premature to make this decision we should wait for.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please state your name, sir.
Henry Sunbury, and I just want to echo the previous speaker and say, given what was expressed last time we were here by our Latino neighbors, by our immigrant neighbors, U.S. citizens of color, about racial profiling and their fears about the impact of this agreement, and then given all of the uncertainties that seem to exist about liability and what the dangers might be to the city of Sunbury in terms of lawsuits or human rights violations that might take place in the media, the media impact of that, the financial impact of that. Given all of the uncertainties, given the newness of this particular agreement model as the previous speaker articulated, I'd like to echo the call that you wait with you, just to see how things unfold in the
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I'm gonna work my way back up, sir. Please state your name, ma'am.
2 weeks ago when we were here, I had mentioned that ice was already here, but it appeared as though the government, the plaintiff's office, were not even aware of how did I know at least 10 months prior to when I stated there was ice in the neighborhood. We did act very professional. However, in every group, you always have, as they call it, the rotten apple. It's fact. And if you know your history, as different nationalities came to this country, there was always some sort of persecution. Look how the Chinese were treated. Look how the Irish were treated. Not saying that it's correct, it should never happen. But, again, they've already been here, and I was told prior to that 10 months, they were already working in the system, and there was no incident. So, no harm, no foul. Although, as I said, there is always rotten apples in the game. Everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment. Sir, please state your name.
Hi, my name's Jordy Gomez. I've been on the Luther Borough Council and Buffalo Valley Police Regional Commission for 8 years. I really wasn't planning to say anything. Thank you for your public service. I've been in your seat. I know these are difficult decisions. We went through a year ago deciding what to do in our police commission, which is a police commission, about work with ICE, and we developed a policy which is modeled in the Pennsylvania State Police Policy. So I know I like to have the facts when making decisions. So just 2 things based on things I heard. First of all, I've been following this. I don't know of any communities in Sunbury, Simon, Union, or Plymouth counties that have this. Maybe it's been updated since March that have this kind of agreement. And the Pennsylvania State Police also don't have one. So I just thought you might want to know some of those, and if you want to take a pause and look at our policies, you're welcome to do that for sure. Which do outline when you cooperate with ICE on administrative warrants. Criminal warrants are a very different thing. But anyways, wanted to offer that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment at this time on agenda items? Any other public comment on agenda items? Please state your name, sir.
I got a bunch of stuff to police. I'm going to go really fast with these people. So, from the American Immigration Council. ICE covers the cost of training deputized officers in the 87 program, including travel expenses for additional ICE responsible for the installation and maintenance of IT infrastructure at partner law enforcement agencies. State and local governments are responsible for all personnel costs, including salaries, benefits, and overtime, as well as administrative supplies. Similar costs, the detention may be reimbursed by the federal government through state criminal alien assistance program, which is a separate DOJ program, not for this 287G. However, the federal government has never fully funded that program, and reimbursements only cover the cost of infraction and prison state mortalities. DHS Office of Inspector General found that ICE and its local law enforcement partners have not complied with the terms of the agreement, that standards by which deputized officers were evaluated contradicted the stated objectives of the program. The Office of Inspector General found that law enforcement training was inefficient, and ICE was not monitoring officers through the completion of the required training, although they participated in law enforcement agencies were expected to function under ICE supervision. The Government Accountability Office report found that ICE failed to establish performance goals in the program and did not have measures in place to systematically assess its effectiveness. The Office of Inspector General for DHS found that ICE and its local law enforcement partners had not complied with the terms of the agreement, that the standards by which deputized officers were evaluated contradicted the stated objectives of the agreement. University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill found that the first year of operating the 287 program in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, cost a total of $5.3 million. Meanwhile, the first full year operation in the state of Alamance County cost $4.8 million. Drug Institute found that Prince William County, Virginia, had to raise property taxes to take money from its rainy day fund to implement the 287 program. The report found the program cost $6.4 million in the first year and cost $26 million over 5 years. To cut costs, the county spent $3.1 million from its budget, money that was intended to buy video cameras for police cars. Waukesha County Sheriff testified from the Senate hearing that he did not have the resources. When asked by Senator Pasco whether he was going to apply to the program, he said, "At this time, I don't have resources to participate with this, or the community structure is such that I don't know if that's necessary." On their own website, ICE's own website, it says, you may get reimbursed. That part is very important. It's just like in the 14th Amendment, where instead of it says all citizens in the country, it says all persons get due process. We may get reimbursed. If they're reimbursing people, why is it costing counties and cities millions of dollars to have to raise taxes to cover the programs? ICE's own attorney, former attorney, because he quit so he could tell the country about this. These are direct quotes from him. The ICE Academy is efficient, effective, and broken. On my first day, I received secret orders to teach new cadets to violate the Constitution by entering homes without a judicial warrant. Never in my career have I ever received such a blatantly unlawful order, nor unconveyed in such a troubling manner. I was shown this memo in secret by my supervisor to make sure I understood that disobedience would cost me my job. And the last quote was from February of this year. You might recognize it. After careful consideration, it has always been and shall continue to be the policy of the city of Sunbury to cooperate with all law enforcement agencies to ensure public safety is protected to the letter of the law. On a regular basis, Sunbury police work with the FBI, U.S. Marshal Service, PA, Attorney General, PA State Police, etc. to ensure the protection of our citizens. This cooperation with the law enforcement agencies will continue as long as it remains within legal and moral boundaries. ICE's own lawyer says we're breaking the law. And he quit his job so he could warn the country.
Thank you. Any other public Any other public comment at this time on agenda items? Any other public comment at this time on agenda items? All right, moving on here, Snedeker, Jamie?
Good evening, thank you. All right. I'm going to call to order the first public, if you would, recess your meeting.
Sorry, recess the meeting.
Thank you. We'll call to order the first public hearing for the city's community development block grant for 2026. I handed out packets, they're around, you can share them. The Community Development Block Grant Program was created through an act of Congress. It is a federal program that the funds come through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the State Department of Pennsylvania, excuse me, to the state of Pennsylvania through DCED. Pennsylvania Act 179 is what creates the entitlement program for CDBG, which is under which the city receives their funding. It's an act that has a formula allocation for municipalities and counties to receive their funds. The purpose of the program is to enhance viabilities of the community by funding projects that provide decent housing, a suitable living environment, and expanded economic opportunities, principally for low to moderate income persons. In the packet that I handed out, there is a schedule for the key dates for application preparation. So also in the packet, there's a project summary form. That is, if you have a project you'd like to submit for consideration for funding, I'd like those back to me at the COG by July 10th. Project review and finalization will take place here at City Council on July 27th. We'll have a final public hearing to discuss those selected projects at the meeting on August 24th. At that time, they will also take action to execute the resolution to submit the application, should everything go as planned.
Yeah.
The application is due to DCD by October 30th. These funds do not come to the city until next year, so it'll be around this time next year until we're seeing these monies. So if you do put in for funding for a project, please make sure you keep that in mind. The dates are subject to change. If something were to need to move around, we are able to move these dates around. And this year, the city is receiving a total of $306,730, pretty similar to what they received last year. CDBG funds can be used to carry out a wide range of activities. In the packet that I distributed, there is a list of eligible activities. We do a lot of water sewer infrastructure, street improvements, reconstruction, storm sewer projects, recreation, park projects, fire equipment, what's called removal of architectural barriers, which is basically your access, your accessibility, neighborhood revitalization, economic development, and improvements to communities, facilities, and services. Activities that are not eligible for funding are your regular operation and maintenance expenses, political activities, new housing construction, equipment purchase unless it's for a public service or the fire department, and then general purpose government activities such as work on to improve City Hall, except accessibility improvements. So it's pretty easy to find a project that is eligible to do with CDBG money. The hard part is meeting the fundability criteria. So as I said at the beginning, this program is principally used to benefit low to moderate income persons. So 70% of the city's annual CDBG allocation does have to be allocated to a project that benefits 51% or more low to moderate income persons. This is the one we use for most every project in the city that we do. The city does have low to moderate income above 51% based on the most recent American Community Survey data. So we are able to use that to fund a lot of good projects here in the city. A second way that you could meet a national objective to fund a project is through the elimination of slum or blight. Some of you who've been around a long time watching me do this know that we did do some blight remediation in previous years. So the city could declare a property or an area as blighted and then use this funds to eliminate that blight, demolish a structure. You can use a maximum of 30% of your annual allocation towards that. The third way you can meet a national objective is a response to an urgent need. Now this is an actual formal declaration of emergency or disaster. It could be local, state, federal, a disaster such as that. It has to be recent, meaning in the last 18 months. The funds can only be used to eliminate that emergency, and you have to be able to say that that work is not affordable in the local budget. And again, a maximum of 30% of the funds is eligible to be used for that. So primarily in the city here, we do meet the national objective of benefit to low and moderate income persons. So how does one apply for this funding? So these eligible applicants for the CDBG funding are, of course, the city, and then municipal authorities, community development organizations, nonprofits. It's not a program that generally necessarily benefits individuals. We can do that through things like housing rehab, but with the limited amount of funding that's available, we don't often get into that here in the city. But generally, we're looking at projects that either have a citywide benefit or the municipal authority or one of the local nonprofits need assistance. So there is no formal match requirement. The CDBG program isn't like other grant programs that have a certain percentage that you need to match it. But of course, if you do apply for funding, we are going to use as part of the ranking, does your organization have some skin in the game in the project? If your project is going to cost more than what you're requesting, we need to know where the rest of that money is coming from and what the timeline is for that. We're also going to look at the financial need for the project, and we need you to keep in mind if you do apply for this funding that it comes along with all the federal requirements such as federal wage rates. So anything you think you can do for a certain cost, you might as well double it, and then we'll have a good budget for your project. If you do apply, the project summary form there in the packet, it does have all your requirements that we need you to submit with it. So that's basically going to be a good description of your project. Where is it? Who are you benefiting? So we call it a map of your project service area. Who are the beneficiaries? Outline it on a map for me. What's your budget and your schedule? Again, recognizing that these funds won't be available till 2027. And how are you meeting one of the national objectives, meaning how are you benefiting primarily low and moderate income persons, eliminating blight, or responding to urgent needs? So when those project summaries come in to me, I will share them with the city. I'll review them and for eligibility, fundability, and inclusion of all the required documents. Then I will work with the city to rank the projects based on things like financial need, timeliness, whether a particular project meets an overall long-term goal of the city. There's a couple of things we have to go over every time we do this. These are the public announcements, the federal requirements. So the fair housing notice is attached to your packet. This is Sunbury has adopted and published a fair housing analysis and established a plan to further fair housing in the city as required by the CDBG program. There's also an anti-displacement plan that was included. So it's the intent of the city to undertake CDBG activities that do not result in displacement of their residents. However, if there is displacement for some reason caused by a CDBG project, this residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan does detail how that will be handled. The third thing is the Section 504 review and notice. So there is as part of each year's CDBG application, the city does solicit input on the accessibility of city facilities and services or programs for the learning, mobility, visually, hearing, or language impaired persons. If you are aware of any need for modifications to any facilities or programs to increase accessibility, you can please let me know. We can identify those needs or an opportunity to propose projects. Does anybody have any concerns or comments on accessibility of city facilities or services? Okay, the city's 504 coordinator, as required, is the chief clerk or the city clerk. So if you do come up with anything, you can reach out to me or to Jeff. The final regulatory item we go over is the Section 3 preference statement, which is at the back side of your agenda. Section 3 is a HUD program that seeks to create opportunities for low and moderate income persons and businesses. I'm not going to read it to you. You can see a Section 3 person is considered somebody with an income below $48,300. The definition of the business is there. So if you are a Section 3 individual or a Section 3 business and you're interested in how these opportunities might apply to you, feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss that. So some projects that are currently underway in the city, we're looking to purchase some fire equipment. We have the second phase of the Susquehanna Avenue project. And then we're also going to be having some curb cuts to be done at 6th and Line Street and some improvements at Stroh Alley. Those are the things that are currently funded with city CDBG funds. At this point, I'll open it up if anybody has any projects they'd like to announce for consideration. I'd just like to get them listed so we know that the ideas are out there.
Jamie, I know we kind of discussed before if it fall under the criteria, but the skate park.
Okay, skate park is a recreational project. Being that it's owned and operated, maintained by the city, we generally are able to qualify those under benefit to the entire city that has LMI.
Peace Playground, water park.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else at this time anybody would like to suggest? Again, keep in mind, if you do put in a project for consideration, who does the project benefit? What's your service area? What's your budget? Are you asking for enough money? Will you be able to have enough money to do the project? Who are you working with, a professional, an engineer? And how quickly, and is there any urgency, because this money is slow? Does anybody have any questions, concerns, any concerns about potential historical or environmental impacts about the CDBG projects? Or any additional Section 504 accessibility concerns they want to avoid? Any other comments on the CDBG program? All right, with that, we'll close the hearing.
All right, thank you, Jamie.
Mhm.
And I guess at this time we will adjourn our city council meeting.
So the second item I have on there.
Oh, I'm sorry, too early.
No, you're good. We're done with that.
Oh, okay, so I re-adjourned, but now,
Yep.
now you're up again.
Yep. So the second item on the list is the scope of services for 2026. So that's just my annual time to stand here and say, hey, we gave you your scope, the cost has not changed, we're doing, probably more work than we ever do, because every year there's more stuff, but we're not charging you more. So I like to give grantees the opportunity to let me know if there's anything more you need, anything we're not doing that you need us to be doing, anything else I could be doing for you under your CDBG program.
You're doing a great job for us and everyone else involved.
Thank you. Well, the 2026 PSA or the agreement won't actually come to you until we actually get that money.
Awesome.
Anything
Thank you,
else?
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, as I said, we reconvene the meeting here. Moving on to updates. Chief Slack.
Okay, police, May 2026, stats for everyone to keep on abreast. Dispatch calls for service were 788 calls. Total arrests was 48. 0 felony arrests were filed this period. 70 misdemeanors, 109 summary offenses. Total traffic stops conducted by the officer was 213. Going against Facebook trends apparently. Citations that were issued, 64, 12 written warnings, with the rest of the 137 being verbal warnings. Total calls at the station received was 2,054 calls, which 164 of those calls were wrapped back to the 911 center to be dispatched as police calls. There was 366 parking tickets that were issued in the month, with parking fines out there of 8,600. There was 0 ICE incidents. Relationship with us, working with them in the past month. The prior month there was 1. The month before that there was 1, and then in February there was 1. Bringing that up and then working moving forward. We tracking those numbers, whether we are on 2070 or not, trying to keep the public abreast when we're involved with ICE.
Any questions for the chief, anyone? All right, thank you, chief, for the update. All right, moving on to the old business here. First here, the 287G program. So, all right, questions, anyone? All right, so I'll make the.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Why don't you tell the audience how many other city municipalities around the area are on this, or have they done it already?
Yes, so Milton is in the process, Shamokin has accepted it, Cole Township is, my state is accepting it, they have the same exact solicitor that we do. We have, Selinsgrove's in the process, they're talking about it like we are. Danville, is my understanding, accepted it. Benton, is going to leave now. Benton also has received funds, is my understanding already. Spoken about the Sheriff's Department, they have received funds. That's what is my department. Northumberland, I believe, is accepted, is my understanding.
What about Danville?
Danville, yes.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys. Did not hear about you.
Buffalo Valley?
Buffalo Valley did not.
All right. Any other questions? Nate, Andrew, did you have something?
I just, I had a chance to speak with Chief Slack out in the hallway a little bit. I have a lot more questions regarding the contract, specifically regarding liability and funding and what our operating procedures are in relation to this contract. And I do think that another meeting is warranted to further discuss it and to talk about the details to see how it's going to be applied to us here in the city center. So I need more information, more time to consider, and I would like to table.
All right, so is that a motion to table? So if you want to table, make a motion.
Make a motion to table.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ister. No. Savage. Yes. Procius.
No.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
Passes 3-2 in favor.
All right, table to the next meeting then. All right, moving on to accept the letter of interest for planning commission for Andre Manresa. Do I have a second?
Second. Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Ister. Yes. Ramos.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
Councilman Savage.
So in lieu of our last meeting, which was a long and interesting one, I think that it's best serves the city, and I wish our solicitor were here tonight, but I want to make a motion to rescind the appointment of Derek Backer as Deputy EMA Director. I had publicly questioned this at the meeting. I realize there's some technical things there. I just don't feel like he's eligible for the position. So I will make a motion to rescind the appointment of Derek Backer as Deputy EMA Director. Second.
Troop,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
Brochus,
Yes.
Savage,
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
All right, moving on to new business here, promotion of Aaron Doyle. Sadly, he is sick this evening, but I'm going to turn over to Chief Sockis to talk about what the promotion will be, and we can do the ceremony next time he is not sick, but go ahead, Chief Sockis.
Promoted to corporal, the first line supervisor. Something I need in my ranks, needs more supervision to help me out with some of the duties we're doing. So he's unable to attend tonight, so we'll go pin him. He completed all portions of the testing and did a good job.
All right, so like I said, that'll take place at the next council meeting, if hopefully he's not sick at. So, I said, that's more, I guess, before announcement at that point, but now moving on to police cadet employment. Once again, I'll talk about, turn this over to Chief Slack so he can talk about how we got to this point. So Chief Slack.
All right, so in limited numbers, looking to allocate monies from salary to cover, sending 2 persons that passed all this testing to the police academy. In doing so, I'd be asking to reallocate $48,000 from salary into training. That would cover every portion for the police officer, not only his tuition, it would cover tasers, body camera, firearms, rifle and pistol, all the uniforms, top to bottom, would cover all of their expenses in the academy. That money is within the budget. We have the 12 officers budgeted for the year so far, so it would still be less than the 1 annual salary. Be able to allocate for those officers to be completely covered.
Question.
Also, I'd be looking to seek tuition reimbursement still.
That's my question, reimbursement.
Yeah, still be looking to recoup the tuition reimbursement I can for $6,300 per officer. We're trying to get through grants.
When you say rifles, is every officer or the individual?
So currently, we do not. We have them assigned to vehicles.
Okay.
The goal of that would be that we can, at this point, we could issue per officer, we have the new rifles, we could issue just like with a pistol per officer, and then have those weapons removed from the vehicle, daily as they sign those vehicles out, and take them with them to, in and out of the car, safety.
And just to let the council know about how he said this is a complete outfitting of the police officer, obviously when they come on duty. So it's one of those things we like to have that expense included now while we have it in the budget to do so, rather than waiting until January when obviously we're through to 2026 budget on the 2027. So we're trying to do the outfitting now while it's in our budget rather than coming in 2027 and say, hey, we need this money now instead of outfit the officers. That's why there's additional cost because we're trying to get everything right now, one send shot, so in 2027, the officer's ready to go. We're not coming back to council saying, hey, now we need all this additional money. That's what we're trying to prevent.
Up front, we had a history of them absorbing that cost like throughout the budget through the year when hiring new officers. This is just right out the gate, that we've been taking care of this year. It also covers the AI software and body cameras with translation, covers all different languages to help us in communication there. So again, it's a large number, but it literally is everything from top to bottom, from boots to headgear, winter coat, etc.
Yeah, and so I said, do it now while we have them later, rather than doing it later and say, oh man, now we gotta find one. So that was the reason why doing it all in one shot, if the council shall choose to go in that direction.
And also, Chief, they're under that same contract as the last time?
That's correct.
Yes. So, any other questions for the chief? All right, Chief, and who were the 2 candidates?
Toby Trey and a Dustin Heiser.
You said Heiser?
Yes.
All right, any questions for the chief? Any questions? All right, so I'll make the motion to send Toby Trey and Dustin Heiser to the police academy under the agreement in which we had previously to the other candidates. Do I have a second?
Second. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
Ister. Yes.
Yes. And Chief, is there one here tonight?
Mr. Heiser, are you there in the black sweatshirt? Raise his hand.
Yeah, so this is Dustin. He was at the previous meeting, but he's here tonight as well. Sadly, Toby Trey could not make it, but
Apologize for being left there.
no, it's all right.
I did it with my baby at home before.
You have a little one.
Yes, I do. I have a 6-month-old and a 5-year-old.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, he said,
He was
Welcome aboard.
a Union County Sheriff.
yeah, let's look at a little bit of his background, so.
Union County Sheriff Officer for, how many years?
6 years.
6 years, and so he's looking to get into police work. He's born in Williamsport, was actually testing for Williamsport, and we were able to snatch him up, and we'll have him over with us now.
Yeah, doesn't he have a history in K-9, or mine is that?
He does have a history in K-9, yes.
Yeah,
4 years K-9, as well as 5 years U.S. Marshal Highlands Task Force. So, we're looking to just further my career.
Awesome, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, thank you. All right, moving on here, for Jeff to be removed from the Blight Committee, he has to be removed because his son's gonna get older and wants to be involved with him, believe it or not, so that was one less thing he wanted on his plate. So I make the motion to remove Jeff from the Blight Committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Troop?
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Savage. Yes. Ister. Yes.
Yes, so we were looking for anyone who's interested in that committee. We'll get that, well, I guess.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, okay. And get advertised also. All right, moving on, Councilman Ister.
Yes, I'd like to take and make a motion to have Ken Knapp 15 hours a week as needed for $18 an hour for maintenance work around the Lincoln City Hall and so forth. Any questions?
Jim, doing the budget?
Out of yours. Yes.
So $18 an hour up to 15 hours, is that what you said?
Yep, only 15, yes.
I'll second it.
As needed, though. It's not guaranteed every week.
Savage.
Thank you.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
All right, moving on here, this was under solicitor release, but we spoke about this last meeting here, so this is resolution 2026-10, the re-procurement policy. Do I have a second for the resolution?
Second. Go ahead, Andrew.
Troop.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Moving on, Councilman Ramos.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading of the parking ordinance. So there's the amendment that we're just adding into it, and it is to add provisions to prohibit repair and or servicing of vehicles on public streets and right-of-ways within the city. Do I have a second?
Second.
Troop.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
All right, moving on, Councilman Savage.
I'll make a motion for the approval of abstracts and vouchers for the general fund in the amount of $265,449.11, liquid fuels in the amount of $18,051.85, and payroll in the amount of $83,772.65.
Second.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
All right, moving on to discussion items. There are no discussion items. Moving on to announcements. The open seat for the following committees: Planning, Board of Appeals, Deputy Director, and now Blight Committee. Jeff will also get those advertised in the paper now. Degenstein Library Foam Party on June 30th from 1 to 3 and July 2nd from 4:30 to 6:30. Family Fun Night at the OPG will be July 9th, starting at 5 p.m. Free swim at the pool is July 10th from 7:15 to 9:15. Sunbury Celebration at the Recreational Complex will be on July 11th, starting at 8 a.m. Is there any announcements?
You have to make a motion to advertise, since you're spending money. I think you should do a motion.
All right, then I'll make the motion to have the following open seats advertised. Do I have a second?
Only because you're spending.
All good. Let's make a break.
Troop.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. Any other announcements, anyone? All right, any other public comment at this time? We'll start here in the front, work our way back. Please state your name, man. Remember the 3-minute rule, please, whenever you're ready.
Hey, Marshall. I originally started coming here like 2 years ago in regards to the garbage and all the BS of the rental property next to me. And I know someone else previously said before it's up to how the agreement is written for the landlord to the tenant. Regardless of that, because I don't know that, regardless of the fact, I'm still having to call and complain weekly by weekly of the same issues. Like why? Why? Like, why is this still going on? What's the point of the code office if they're not, and I get it, there's only 2 of them, they can only do so much, but I'm still complaining about the same thing, nothing's being done. Like, what's the
We do have a new procedure of filling out a complaint form and submitting it to the
I
court.
filled out quite a few,
Okay, so I think we'll
on top of the last 2 years of complaints that are documented, so, again, why is this, why am I still having to do this? Just in the last 2 weeks, I filled out 2 papers, same property.
And they do have enough, they have time to abate the issue, so we're within part of that abatement time frame, 20 days.
But it's been the same issue for 2 years, why do they still have time to, it's not like I'm calling with a different complaint, it's the same thing all the time.
My office can do that.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Beverly Mercer. I actually am speaking on somebody else's behalf. I just had dinner over at El Limon, and the young man in there said when he gets up to 8th and 11th Street to cross on that side of the street, to cross, the buttons won't work. And he can't get across the street. So I just wanted to point that out.
Chairman, we have one DPI.
Yeah, they work in a
Yeah.
strange way, so, I mean, if the light just turned green and you push it, they ain't gonna let you go across right away. There's a timer on it, no matter what.
He said he waits forever. I'm just passing on.
I mean, they're set on a timer because there's a 61 through fire, so green light stays longer on Market Street than it does the other streets. But I'll look
When
into
he's
it.
crossing 11th, to the other side of 11th.
I'll just make a
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to say regarding ICE, I think our police officers are perfectly capable of handling any issues in this small town that we have. And I think that they have resources available that they can call on the state police or anything. I just don't think there's enough illegal activity in our city to warrant going, or at least do a lot more research, like one person said, delay it for a year, just to be definite of what we're getting into. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comments start with Jody, then work my over, so please say your name, ma'am, though.
Jody Ocker, I'm representing Sunbury Revitalization Incorporated. I have put on in front of each of the council members a project summary and a proposed letter of support for you to consider individually as council members if you'd like to sign it for this USDA Rural Business Development Grant. The grant specifically has mostly to do with marketing. It's one-to-one and hands-on training with individual business owners. There's also the potential for up to 5 professionally designed websites at low cost to businesses. And then it's also the Think Sunbury brand and marketing campaign to really build up that Think Sunbury engagement and recognition now that we have the sculpture in the park. And thank you to those that were able to come. We are getting a lot of positive comments online. And I think that people are very excited about it. We want to keep that momentum going. So if you would consider that, you have the summary and you'll have the proposed letter in front of you. And if you want to sign it and give it to me tonight, that'd be awesome. Then I have just to confirm on July 13th in the work session, we have the DCED planners coming to give a outbrief basically on the brownfield assessment and reuse plan, proposed reuse plan for 440 Market Street. Still on the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then congratulations on selling the former Turkey Hill property at Reagan and Front. And I'm sure there are probably going to be lots of people with lots of ideas of how to spend that money. I have some too. So that's all.
Jody, I'd like to thank you and your team for the job you've done. Also, I've received a lot of phone calls, how beautiful it is at night, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Please state your name, ma'am.
Amy Buren, I just want to make sure that when you're talking about the Blake Committee, we're following the specifics of the ordinance. If someone's stepping down, it may not be just who's interested. There has to be a member of council, member of the planning commission, member of the redevelopment authority, as well as someone appointed from the executive committee. So it can't be just based on public interest.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, sir.
My thoughts. Since I'm here, and I'm contemplating the meeting, is the city aware of all the junk that's piled up in Fifth Street by that building there by North Market Street? I mean, it's, you get phone calls if the grass is this high, and that place piles junk up on the sidewalk constantly. I mean, is the city aware of that? I mean, I've talked, it's right near my business, I've talked to them, and they said they they buy lots from
Liquidation sales?
yeah, and they have a large warehouse outside of town, and this is for overflow. I'm thinking, well, put that in your, put it outside your warehouse, outside of town. I mean, is the city aware that they're doing this? I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Just piled up. Doors laying on the sidewalks for days at a time, you know, and pallets piled up. Is that something that's okay with the code office?
No, it's not okay. I know we received a few complaints, and I know our office is looking into it.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but, you know, I'm not losing a lot of sleep over it compared to the bar that used to be there. You would have to hire about 10 more police officers. That person would open up again. Because that's there every night. But, you know, so again, I'm not losing a lot of sleep over it, but it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it went up for sale, and there has been some work happening with cleaning out the junk from inside. And
Went up for sale again?
That's for sale, yes. So they're cleaning out the belongings on the inside, and we are working with the current owner with the violation to get it cleaned up.
Yeah.
Do they have a time frame in which they need to get it cleaned up?
There's a violation, I think there's a 20-day abatement period where if they want to appeal at that time to get it cleaned up.
Okay. Thank you. Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Tracy Lesher. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Jay Long and the fire department for the fire that happened out on Market Street. Just goes to show that those people are dedicated, don't get paid, wonderful volunteers that save our property and our lives in this town, which is a great thing. Second of all, the Blake Committee, with Jeff stepping down, he's the only one that's eligible. Who will also be eligible?
So from Jeff talking with the solicitor, I guess Steve is eligible, Jackie's eligible, and Kathy's eligible.
And for the complaint policy that's online for the code office, the forms and whatnot, so I have filed several complaints on those forms. I got 2 responses back and 2 not. Is there a policy that, because there is a question on there, that you want to hear back about it? But is there a policy that you will hear back about it, or just when it's done, or what?
I can answer that. So on that document, it basically states, do you want to be notified when there is a resolution? So if you are notified, it means that it has been resolved. If we're enforcing and we're still in the process of going through this period, it could take a little bit longer, but it needs to have the end of the resolution of the complaint.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anything else? No. All right. Any other public comment at this time? Go ahead, ma'am.
Beverly Mercer. Yes, there's a property down the street from my house that I can't fathom how they do it, but they'll clean it up, and 2 weeks later, it looks like a hurricane went through there. And then it's cleaned up again, and then it's just like paper and junk. I mean, I'm fascinated. It's at the corner of 6th and Line Street, across from the playground. And it just, that yard is always, it's crazy. I don't know how they accomplish that kind of disaster. faster, but it's pretty bad.
Thank you.
So if that could be checked into, I don't know if they have mental issues, I'm not sure what the situation. I didn't mean that in a negative way, I meant, I don't know if they just don't have the capacity to keep it cleaned up. If so, maybe they can get some help from the city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other public comment? Please state your name, sir.
Randy Savage, longtime resident of Sunbury all my life, by the way. I'm here to just discuss and bring up some ideas that our riverfront property down there is just a vacant, empty lot for most times. And it's been a burden on my heart for quite some time to see more activity down there. And to be completely honest with you, most of the time I spent there this year already, I noticed that most of the traffic heads up the river to the lower spots and everything. We have a beautiful large lake. We have a beautiful, I believe, completed riverfront project now, maybe some tweaks, etc. But I'm really here to approach council and open up the idea of partnering with you to maybe open up some activities down there in the form of like kayak rentals, maybe some paddle boats, and small scale things, not getting into jet skis, that's a lot bigger liability, etc. But I hope to be here next meeting on the agenda and we can discuss these things. We got a lot of great things happening on the other side of that river wall that separates us from the city. We have a beautiful, beautiful scenery over there, and we don't want to pollute it, but we're going to be bringing in a very large riverboat here soon as that activity happens. And you know, I'd like to see some food trucks more often down there and really link the city with the river. I got some great ideas, and I'm open to sharing them with all of you. Tonight's not the night, but I look forward to talking to all of you guys about this possible venture.
Right. Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Randy, you know, when that project started, your dad's the one who kind of first wanted the boat dock rebuilt and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So he was one of the first ones to question about doing something like that. It's kind of fun.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. If you don't get the opportunity to cross over that wall, I recommend that everybody goes down there.
There's
You know?
hardly anybody ever down there. Ride my bike down there,
It
walk
really
down there
is.
all the time. Seeing geese.
Pretty a popular spot, I
Seeing
think.
geese
But
like
there's no way to cross Market Street except at the corner of Market.
Things we gotta work
All
out.
the way.
Hey guys, we can have discussions, sorry, at the end here, I just want to keep moving here with public comment. Is there any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Andrew, I'm sorry, when you mentioned about the parking situation that's on the agenda, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. What does it entail?
It prohibits any working on vehicles on city streets and driveways. And city streets and right of ways, yes.
Okay, thank you. And second of all, we've had another good discussion about ICE, but I hope you do not kick the can down the road. Please have a separate meeting so you can decide one way or the other instead of continually kicking it down the road. Thank you.
It'll be on the work session next meeting after SRI's. No, we'll have, Jody, out of curiosity, do you know how long that's going to take? That way we can plan how long the work session has to be. I mean, just the bulk, I don't want you to do it.
20 minimum, 20
Okay.
minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, we might have to move up the
You
work
may have
session
questions
earlier.
and things like that open up.
Yeah, we might have to move it up like 4:30 because of that, and that, so.
I'll get more information from DCD and we
That
have
works.
an update with them on Friday, so.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we don't have to rush through, all the stuff, so that'll work. Thank you. Any other public comment? Go ahead, ma'am, please state your
I
name.
have a question, Maggie, to you. What is the process to get it started for somebody who is out there with their truck on stilts for weeks? What do I do about that? I mean, they're working on their cars all the time in my neighborhood, on the street. What is the process to alert someone that there's a problem?
Well, I know that many people have called the police department and they've reached out to our office, but the issue is with the ordinance needs to be amended for us to be able to take full action to be able to fine them for the violation of this particular ordinance. So we're correcting the ordinance to make sure that it's enforceable. Right now, there was like a loophole that.
So I would have to call the police right now. And then when you redo your enforcement, will we be alerted to the procedure?
Yes, there is a complaint form you can fill out to our office.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
So, yeah. So, and then we'll look into the violation, and then once it's resolved, you'll hear from us.
And where do you get the complaint form from, directly from your office?
From our office or the city's website, should have website, correct? Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have them too, ma'am. You can stop it. I have some. You can stop in the mayor's office. I'll hand you over to the court office.
I'll take a couple.
Thank you. Any other public comment on this time? Or somewhere coming back, please state your name, ma'am.
Corey Johnson. Jackie can't be on the blight committee because she's not hired by the city. Her company is hired by the city. She's a third-party employee, so she can't be on the blight committee. Just want to say that. And then the second thing, to Ann Marshall with that grass. I've noticed that there's kids out here during the day. They work from 9 to 1. There's something to either Suncom or Shikellini. I'm not exactly sure. I know one of the kids that's doing that. Is it possible to get those kids? This lady that has this house is in a wheelchair and she's elderly, and there's a hill on her property. Maybe she doesn't know anybody or can get anybody to cut her grass, but isn't there people that can help her if she has a lawnmower? But I don't know what these kids are doing, but there's probably about 15 kids that I've seen out there walking around doing stuff, and they have the vests on, and I know, well, I don't know, like I said, where they're hired from or anything, but they're getting paid from somebody, I don't know where. So, yeah, so I don't know if they can help, but there's a lot of elderly people in Sunbury, so maybe there's, you know, can work for these older people instead of getting in violations.
We've been doing that all year, Lori. We've been doing that all summer.
Okay.
We have a program specifically for older folks.
Okay.
That they call me, and we've been taking care of yards all year long.
Well, I don't know.
I would say quality life tickets have dropped down a lot this year. We've been doing that. We just have to reach out. We've been taking care of people's yards all year long.
And I don't know if this lady.
The kids that
knows
you're talking about, they have been, today was a crappy weather day,
Oh, yeah,
so they're working inside today. But we have been, I said, with what we've seen online, they are gonna go around, and the major tributaries, they're gonna go around the major streets, they're gonna go around and start hitting them for high grass, they're gonna hit the sidewalks, Reagan, Fourth, Market, yeah. But they do, I do send them to people's yards, and we have been all spring,
Yeah,
May,
maybe this
June.
lady doesn't know about that.
No, but if you do, tell her call me, tell her reach out to me, and, yeah, we've been doing it all summer long.
Okay, thanks.
Any other public comment? Please state your name, sir.
Brian Sewell. I'd just like to ask, when the city is contracting with a company to take on a project like the Packer Street project, Susquehanna Avenue project, if they're gonna rip up the street in front of someone's house, especially a disabled person, the police take note of what they're doing. We were on vacation 2 weeks ago, and I got a phone call from the Sunbury Police Department threatening to have my car towed because we weren't home and couldn't move it. And I don't fault the woman that lives there because she's handicapped, she's in a wheelchair. She couldn't get to the alley because of where our car was parked on our property. And working with Chief Slack, they had ours slided over a little bit so that she could at least get to the alley to get to her doctor appointment. But you know, you would think that if they're doing a project like that and they're ripping up a street in front of a handicapped person's house and you can see her handicap ramp there, somebody would think, hey, maybe we should knock on her door and ask her if she has another way to get out of her house before we totally landlock her. So, and she thanks for working with me to get that taken care of.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brian. Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment? There's one other announcement, I make this real quick. So work session will be on July 13th, time to be determined, and next council meeting will also be on the 13th. Any other public comment? All right, I adjourn this meeting.